Hi, my name is Chris Oliveria, and I'm a scholarship coach. And today we're here to talk about 27 ways sports can provide relevant work experience. Does your child play sports and need something to place on a resume? Being a dedicated teammate demonstrates multiple values employers desire. When you attend your child's games, you look around and you may be thinking, every child can talk about his or her sporting experience during a job interview. If my child talks about his or her experience, how is this going to provide a competitive advantage? The truth is, a lot of students play sports, but very few understand and communicate the value they have to offer from being a team player. Do you know the 27 things your child could possibly list on a scholarship or job resume as a result of being involved in sports? 27 benefits an athlete can list on his or her resume. 1. Consistently arrives on time. If your child can show up to practice on time throughout the season, then your child is also capable of showing up on time for other commitments, such as a job. 2. Able to dress appropriately. Many sports dress attire require things such as shin guards and cleats to be considered fully dressed. If your child can reliably dress appropriately for practices and games, he or she is also likely to dress appropriately for other work environments. 3. Arrive prepared with gear. The habit of showing up to practice with gear demonstrates the ability to show up with all the necessary equipment. The ability to show up prepared is desired just as much by employers as it is by coaches. 4. Able to work solo and as a team player. The ability to move fluidly from a solo player juggling a ball away from an opponent to a team player passing the ball is valuable. The working world is similar. An employee completes his or her part of a project and then passes the project or the ball to another teammate. 5. Able to communicate with peers and supervisors. The ability to communicate with teammates and coaches is equivalent to communicating with coworkers and supervisors. 6. Performs under pressure. Pressure comes from many places: the opponent, the coach, teammates, fans, and the player themselves. Being able to perform under pressure is highly desirable. This ability is transferable into the work world where your child will have to deal with the pressures from a supervisor, coworkers, vendors, and office politics. 7. Willing to travel when necessary. Your child is used to traveling to games locally within the state and sometimes in other states. Since some jobs require traveling, employers like to see a past record of someone who has traveled and has a traveler's mindset. 8. Groomed to receive feedback from supervisors and superiors. Coaches train and hold players accountable. Your child has given permission to be held accountable and is willing to accept feedback about his or her performance. When your child accepts a job offer, your child is inexplicitly giving the employer permission to be held accountable. Your child will be already groomed to accept feedback. 9. Able to make and keep commitments. Your child demonstrates commitment every time he or she shows up to practice on time, dresses appropriately, brings gear, plays all in, and travels to away games. Since it is expensive to hire and train employees, an employer is looking for a candidate who demonstrates the ability to make a long-term commitment, such as play for a season, and keep the daily obligations as well. 10. Continuously strive for improvement. Committed players are always looking for ways to improve. The habit of continuously improving will benefit your child. In a global economy, companies and their employees have to strive for improvement to keep their customers satisfied. If they don't, other competitors can win the hearts and minds of their customers by providing better products and/or services. 11. Conditioned to work against the clock or deadlines. Players strive to score as many points as possible within a limited time frame. Players strive to be in the zone and to operate at peak performance. Employers want to hire in the zone employee to accomplish as much peak performance work as possible within a given time frame. 12. Able to focus on the task at hand. It's not uncommon for a player to practice on developing a skill throughout an entire practice. Regardless of what drills or other tasks the coach has assigned, the player must maintain focus. In the work world, it is easy to become distracted with phone calls, emails, and meetings. Employers like an employee who can focus on the task even while being in an environment with lots of distractions. 13. Emotional mature. On the field, when a player does not agree with the referee call, the player can choose to demonstrate sportsmanlike or unsportsmanlike behavior. The ability to move forward and stay focused on the game without acting immaturely is a sign of a mature player. Employers know that an employee may not like every call a supervisor makes. Employers want to hire someone with the ability to move forward with the assigned project or task in a professional manner, even though he or she does not agree with the supervisor. 14. Assertive and optimistic. It is unrealistic for an athlete to expect the ball to always come to him or her. Your child has to be assertive and opportunistic. Your child has to be assertive and tongue twister here. Opportunistic. Okay, let's restart that again. Here we go. Okay. 14. Assertive and opportunistic. It is unrealistic for an athlete to expect the ball to always come to him or her. Your child has to be assertive and opportunistic. This requires going after opportunities with confidence and taking action. With the world changing rapidly, employers know they need to be assertive in going after new opportunities to serve their current customers better and to attract new customers. 15. Actively engaged. A team functions best whenever it is engaged. Engaged players, when not in action on the field, may continue to support their teammates in other ways. A player on the bench can still clap their hands and shout, "Good job," from the sideline. Employers want and need actively engaged players. While not everyone can be on the review board for a product launch, ideas and inputs from everyone are still needed. 16. Used to being held accountable. Sports involves a lot of statistics. Coaches know that what you measure improves. Therefore, statistics are collected and reviewed with your child. Statistics provide a means to inform a player about what areas he or she is excelling in and what areas he or she needs to improve on. Employers commonly deal with employees who are defensive about feedback and employee reviews. Therefore, employers are enthusiastic to have an employee who welcomes the opportunity to discuss his or her performance and ways to improve it. 17. Groomed to receive feedback from peers. It is not uncommon to have one teammate work with another after practice to improve a skill or weakness. The ability to receive feedback leads to working together to make improvements. In the workforce, people need to be able to give and receive feedback from others besides their supervisors. 18. Show up with a coachable mindset. Showing up in the proper headspace allows an athlete to be trainable. A mindset is a way of thinking that affects a person's ability to learn. Employers know attitudes can change quickly when employees need to learn new skills for their job. Therefore, employers want to hire the applicant who is trainable and will continue to learn and keep up with changes in technology. 19. Strive to win. The goal of every sport is to win. Athletes that want to win are willing to improve their performance. Employers want to win financially and want employees who will play all out rather than just showing up to work, going through the motions in order to collect a paycheck. 20. Strive for consistent performance. Every athlete has their moment of glory and fame. However, a game is not won based upon a few moments. A game is won because of the consistent high performance throughout the game. Likewise, it is an employer and your family who wins when your child demonstrates high performance throughout his or her career. 21. Able to be resilient. Every athlete at some point experiences a down streak. Athletes have the option to give up or to bounce back and be resilient. The longer your child has been involved with sports, the more opportunity your child has had to demonstrate resilience. Employers want someone who will persevere through the downtimes and come out on top. 22. Willing and able to lead. Athletes can step up and lead their team when necessary. For example, if the coach is late to practice, your child has the opportunity to lead the team in warm-up exercises. Employers are impressed by the person who is able to take charge of a situation and lead others. 23. Takes initiative without having to be asked. The athlete that begins cleaning up by fetching the balls, cones, and other equipment without being asked takes initiative. Employers appreciate the person who takes initiative because it reduces the need for a supervisor to micromanage. 24. Able to strategize. On the field, your child observes the skill level of his or her opponent. If your child notices the other person he or she is covering is dominant on the left side, your child can implement a strategy to use the opponent's right side. The ability to assess the situation quickly and make a plan of action is also desirable in the workforce. 25. Strength-based approach. Athletes may be placed in several positions to see which position he or she naturally plays best. Once a position is picked, then skills for that position are developed. A strength-based approach focuses on the best way a person can add value to the team. As such, your child will be open to the idea of discussing different employment positions an employer has available. 26. The habit of going the extra mile. Performing above the standard is known as going the extra mile. For serious athletes, this could be working on drills outside of practice. If this describes your child, employers will view your child as willing to use personal time to develop his or her career outside of work time. This is a sign of a top performer, and hiring employers know it. 27. Tough-minded. An athlete who is tough-minded is strong enough to withstand adverse conditions when pushing through comfort zones to grow and become better. An entry-level employee is going to need to be tough-minded in order to progress upward in his or her career. Employers are looking for the candidate that has growth potential and will help the company grow. Of the 27 benefits your child can list on his or her resume, pick the benefits that pertain to your child the most. Your child is going to want to have plenty of examples to discuss during the interview process to back up his or her claims. An ongoing discussion will help your child feel comfortable talking about his or her sports career and how this experience is relevant in the working world. Conversations like this can be uplifting as well as constructive. Your child is already actively engaged in sports, so let's leverage that experience and help your child acquire a job. So, when are you going to take time in your busy schedule to share this blog post with your child and have a conversation? I hope soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I will look forward to talking to you again soon.